So Cricket Last Stories with me, Neel Khagram. Today we're joined by Fynn Hudson-Prentice. How are you keeping during this lockdown?
All right, thanks, Neil. Thanks for having me on, mate.
So Finn's going to show us put together some skills so you can keep your cricketing eye in as such whilst at home during this lockdown. But before we get into it, Fynn, let's talk a little bit about your background. You came through the Sussex Academy, making your debut for the side in 2014 before unfortunately being released from the club at 2016. Talk us through your journey there and the difficulties as a young player being released at that age.
Um, yeah, it was obviously an honour to come through the academy sort of as a kid, especially growing up and living down in Sussex myself. Going through and obviously making it at your home club is always the dream. Supported Sussex since I was obviously a young boy, 8 years old. Watched the county start winning competitions and stuff. So that was great. Getting onto the academy when I was 15 years old, one of the younger players in the squad at the time. So getting on there at that age was a great achievement. And then kicking on to make it was obviously a dream realised at the time. I think the age of 18, 19 and my 20 year, it was a little bit tough for me personally. I got a couple of injuries at the wrong times. I didn't kick on as well as I would have hoped. I had a couple of bad seasons in second team cricket, and that sort of went into my first team cricket as well. Not horrendous seasons, but just not sort of improving and kicking on as I would have hoped. Had bad routines off the field, which just translated to bad performances on the field. And I guess that's sort of where you get released and you sort of look back and you learn. And good to find myself in a new position now where I can learn from that and take that forward.
So during that period, did you fall out of love with the game?
Yeah, massively. Yeah. Maybe towards the back end of my last season, it was like I was playing under so much pressure rather than playing for the initial enjoyment that you play for as a kid. You play and it's a hobby, and at the end of the day, that you're doing for jobs, for work. So it was a bit tough going through that period of then the hobby sort of going out of it and it just turning into a full-time pressurized job, especially when you're playing for your career at that stage as a 20-year-old. It was very tough. It just translated into me really losing the love of the game. And I guess that sort of spiraled into me getting released in the end.
So you took a little bit of time out of the game. I believe you played club cricket. You also played for the MCC, Young Cricketers. And Steve Kirby, how important has he been in spotting your career? Talk us about how influential he's been in that kind of period in your career.
So I played that club cricket season. I went over to Australia, played a bit over there. Wasn't really enjoying myself as much as I could have been like on the field, sort of just playing cricket because it was sort of something I was half decent at. So it wasn't really a enjoyment factor. And then came back and represented East Grinstead in the Sussex League, and that year we went on to win the league and come and get into the semi-final of the national knockout cup, which the club had never got into any sort of quarter-final, semi-final of that, and never won the league. So it was nice to get that sort of enjoyment out of winning games and playing with your mates again. And then towards the back end of that season, Steve Kirby just rang me randomly and he just sort of said, look, I've been following some of the results in club cricket and stuff and such. Like one of the guys who was the assistant coach of the MCC at the time used to be an academy coach at Sussex. So he was sort of like, look, this kid's out of the game at the moment. So Steve rang me up and just said, look, do you want to come play for us? And sort of not pressurised, but sort of just got on my back a bit and was like, look, we can't see people like you going missing in the game. Which was nice to hear from someone who's obviously so experienced in professional cricket and took hundreds and hundreds of first class and list A and 2020 wickets. So that was good to hear. And then he just got me in, played a couple of games, one of them being against Sussex in a second team game.
And then a couple of hundreds, didn't you, for the second team? Which
that was the year after, which was a bit lucky sort of thing. The first year I didn't do very well. I sort of came onto the programme and again, like I wasn't really enjoying it as much as I should have. It was a bit like I was still a bit lost, but then Curb sort of got on my back again. He pumped up my tyres a little bit. He was saying, look, you're good enough, all that sort of stuff that young players want to hear. But he was just a very good mentor. He was good at telling you off, or not so much telling you off, but ticking you off when you do things that he doesn't believe in, and just pushing you in the right direction. I think that's what really got me going again, was him just on my back, pushing me in the right direction, like slowly, little 1%ers, getting me in the right direction for the right things. And then I got my chance. He moved up to Derbyshire, and I got a chance to go on a little like loan 6-week period with them at the start of last season, which was obviously ended up where I am now.
And then what are the goals for yourself in the next few years?
Love to play international cricket, test cricket. I think that's a very long-term goal at the moment, obviously, especially with what's going on around the world at the moment. But that is obviously the goal. Personally, I want to play test cricket for England. That is still the highest honour for me, is test cricket rather than the white ball stuff. But obviously at the moment, playing a lot of white ball cricket for Derbyshire. I played the whole of last season in the T20 side. So that's obviously a positive as well, to see that part of my game improving. But I think for the short term, sort of 1 or 2 year goal would be getting Derbyshire back into Division 1 for county cricket. That's more of our aim as a personal perspective, and for the club. I think that's where you, as a player, you get recognised more for international cricket, as well as obviously if your club's doing that and they're in a good position as well, then you can try and hopefully in 2 or 3 years start pushing towards the top half of Division 1.
Perfect, Fynn. Fingers crossed we do get some cricket soon. In the meantime, really looking forward to these drills. Let's get into it now.
For these stay-at-home drills, all you're going to need is a tennis ball, a bat, a table, and for one of the drills, you'll need someone to throw the ball for you. Here is drill number 1. Time for drill number 2. And finally, drill number 3.